All right, David, who's your favorite woman you've ever stalked?
I've never stalked.
Don't believe
Wait.
you. Welcome to Bottle Episodes.
Wait, okay, I have one. Welcome to Bottle Episodes. I'll tell you after that. Welcome to Bottle Episodes. This is the podcast where we watch bad television shows, and then we watch their worst. We watch their pilot and the top-rated episode on IMDb.
To see if it ever got better.
And this week we're watching the show Stalker. My name is David Piccolomini.
I'm Daniel Crow.
Elliot Thompson.
Okay, and here's what I'll say. The closest I've ever been to stalking is I, on Venmo, realized that my ex didn't hide her transactions. So I was just like, I was like, well, we're not following each other on anything anymore. This is a way I could know what's going on, and I didn't just like unfriend her from
Are you
that.
still friending her? Was she still your friend on Venmo?
Oh, no, I think she blocked me at one point.
I was going to say we could read some of her transactions right now.
We could dox her on the pod.
No, just read what she's been Venmoing. You don't need to actually say her name. You
Let's-
can.
I'm not
Let's
going to.
let's do it. I want to say her name
No.
and address.
Anyway, so the show we're talking about is Stalker.
Stalker.
So funny, just wanting to stalk a girl because your boy's stalking her, and you just like
Yeah.
think he's really cool.
Yeah, they're just pals stalking in the pilot episode.
Yeah, buddy's got a stalk together.
When I was in sixth grade, I had just kind of one of the most debilitating crushes of my life. I feel like crushes, are most debilitating at that sort of like prepubescent
Oh yeah, you
age.
just don't know how to function.
Yeah,
at
and it's not
all.
really like a horny. It's like you don't really know what like horniness is, and so you can't really kind of like place the emotion. And anyway,
I'm just imagining since you don't know what horny is, and then imagining Austin Powers going up to a teen and being like, "Do I make you horny?" And then be like, "I don't know."
probably not. Yeah, for old Austin. But yeah, there was this girl, and she went to the middle school across the street from mine, and I ran into her when I was walking to school one day, and it was like earlier than I would ever usually go to school. And so then for like 2 months, I would just like go to school earlier with the hope of like seeing her on my walk to school.
Oh yeah. Where you're just you're just like, oh, maybe if we just
Maybe.
happen to see each other,
Yeah.
then that's natural and that's totally fine.
This is
Yeah.
why I'm sick of people classifying good old fashioned romance as stalking. The liberal media.
Yeah, stalking has it's because stalking has like I feel like stalking in nature and in like best practice, you shouldn't be necessarily. I think there's like two types. There's like one like stalkers that want to get caught, and then people who are just sort of like following you really well and you never know. You know what I mean?
There's a
That just
there's
sounds
a
like-
third kind, and that's what we see in this show,
Yeah.
which is just people who seem to be stalking out of boredom above all else.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just
This
like,
is like their hobby,
they just love of the game.
love of the game in this show, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the show Stalker. What was it? Was it on CBS?
It feels CBS, but it also feels like any of the networks.
It's CBS,
CBS,
which
huh?
is wild because this show is like horrific.
Big Bang Theory ends and it goes right into Stalker.
And then, yeah, right. It was like the 9 p.m. slot, I think.
Yeah, it was
9 or
like
10 p.m. slot.
on Wednesdays. It doesn't say what time it came on. Well, it depends on which, where in the country. But yeah, 9-10 p.m. on a Wednesday, just watching women casually get burned alive.
Here, so listen, that's how the show starts off, and I'm gonna start off by victim blaming because she could have got out of the car.
There's
so much time for her to get out of that car that's on fire before it blows up.
Yeah.
It also rolls away from the stalker first.
Yeah, it rolls away while
She's-
on fire, but not enough on fire.
No, and then she just kind of sits there and goes, ah, and then it explodes. This is on her. She shouldn't have been stalked. That's her fault. But also, she should have got out of this burning car.
Also, though, it seems like it's like 8 p.m. There's like a woman jogging
Yeah.
like near her, and she like
Yeah.
it's like I think I'm like if you think you're being stalked and there are people around you can like bring around for safety, you can interrupt their day. That woman would not be upset if because then that's 2 versus 1 on the fucking guy using gasoline as a weapon.
It's a ranged weapon. I don't think you understand. He can get it from a distance. So are matches. Matches are also ranged. You just toss them.
Yeah, yeah, and he was so good at tossing matches.
He is one of the worst match tossers I've ever seen in film or television.
He's a bad match tosser. He also seems for like a personal trainer, was like tossed off his feet by little women
Yeah.
like 4 times.
Because he was too busy focusing on trying to light a match.
Yeah.
Get a lighter.
What an insane start to the show. Also, just like really, dude, getting burned alive would suck so much. So I think it's like the worst one.
Now that's the weird thing. None of the detectives ever comment on how much burning alive would suck.
Yeah.
They should comment.
They should comment. They should definitely comment that. I mean, also like the guy. I don't know how much backstory we want to.
That's
We'll
fine.
do the
We
whole
can
plot.
Get into it.
we're spoilers are allowed for shitty TV shows.
Right.
We're not ruining your experience by letting you know what happens in 2 episodes of Stalker.
A show which I don't even think is on any streaming service anymore.
Yeah, this was hard to find.
Yeah.
I have it now, though. I have the whole show.
Dude, it's findable. It's just...
It was hard to find even for like me
Yeah,
for a
you
minute.
can't even put it... They didn't even bother to put it on Paramount Plus or anything.
Yeah, it's just not around.
Yeah.
But it's if you want to watch a woman get lit on fire.
There's better ways to...
Well,
If you want to watch a woman get lit on fire and you want it to be something from one of these episodes that we've covered, watch Tomes and Talismans.
that's got some good woman burning in it.
She accidentally lit herself on fire during the
damn.
filming.
Yeah.
She was carrying a torch, tripped, and she was a child as well.
Ooh.
If you'd like to see a child light herself on fire.
Oh, they ran it.
Well, here's the thing. It was to teach children how to use the Dewey Decimal System. So they had to run it.
Jesus. That's
She's fine.
she's fine.
She's fine.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
She
this
didn't light
isn't
herself
like-
on fire.
This isn't like a Munchkin in Wizard of Oz situation or something.
It was-
yeah,
but
she didn't come out with horrible burns.
she seemed okay. She's still alive,
Yeah.
functioning.
Okay.
Seemed to think it was a little bit of a funny story when she relayed it,
Oh,
but
Jesus.
I can't stress enough that she did light herself on fire in an effort to teach kids in Mississippi the Dewey Decimal System.
I would never forget it. So I was like, I better learn this. The consequences for putting a book in the wrong place seem a little
dire.
severe.
Well, yeah. Like giant, like humans who are not human, mutant things
Yeah.
that hate knowledge will slowly take over the earth.
Wait, what?
We've already done. This was a show we did in the past.
Oh, sure. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the premise of the show. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't
Got
listened to every episode. That's usually required for all of our casts.
I'll
We make
get on
sure.
Well, go check out Tomes and Talismans. It's all on
Yeah,
YouTube.
in the 8-page instruction manual I send you to do this podcast, that's instruction
Yeah.
3.
Dude, the thing that was funny about Stalker was just like how the premise seems to be that every single person on the show is being stalked
Or stalking.
or stalking.
Okay. Yeah.
Every single police officer is being stalked. Most of the police officers, if they're not being stalked, they're actively stalking.
They kind of excuse the main male detective stalking as just kind of quirky.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Detective Jack Larson is a recent transfer to the LAPD Threat Assessment Unit from the NYPD Homicide Division, whose confident, strong personality and questionable behavior have landed him in trouble before, but those past behaviors may prove valuable on his new job. His boss, Lieutenant Beth Davis, awful name for a television show. Actually, I know a Beth Davis in high school. Did not try and stalk her.
Not too late.
Let's look
You
her.
can start whenever.
This guy,
She was lovely.
He's such a bad fucking character. Like it's so corny. Like the new guy on the job who's like, she she brushes her teeth once in the morning and once it like just walks into a room and is like, she loves Japanese architecture and has a taste for dry white wine, like which just like immediately breaks down an entire person's life based on like on some Sherlock Holmes shit.
Yeah.
And then is like, nice tits, sweetie.
Yeah, he was a scumbag Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
But that would like the thing is with those kind of mind guys, you need to see more of like a really good version of that happened around the same time period, or actually a little bit earlier. But Hannibal, do you ever see Hannibal?
No.
It's so they do the whole thing of the guy is he is able to kind of recreate crime scenes, but it's because he's like on the autism spectrum. He's on the autism spectrum and is like just very empathic, I think is the way. And so it's like he's able to get into people's heads, and it's severely debilitating to him, as opposed to this guy who's just like, yeah, everything in here is pretty easy to solve about a person. Anyway, I'm going to be the best cool detective who loves tits.
He also came to LA to follow his wife, who left New York to try to get away from him. But
Maybe that's why.
Which is made out to be like a kind of like chivalrous.
Well, because he just
move.
wants to reconnect with his kid, apparently.
Yeah.
So they excuse it.
Baby, I just want to stalk my kid.
And
That's what this should be called.
Stalking my kid.
I just want to stalk my kid.
And she's also, which I don't think we really saw, but she's also like a DA. So they all like work together. Let's see, like just the HR violations, just I mean that he really thought that he could be, or that what's her name, Beth, wouldn't like get him fired for being like, yeah, I couldn't help but stare at your chest. Why do you wear such sexy things if you don't want men to look? Like, he really says that shit. It's like fucking like red pill Twitter circa like 2011.
And this is like 2014.
Have you considered that representation matters and those guys need something on TV?
Yeah, how are they going to grow up to be successful misogynistic detectives if they can't see it in Dylan McDermott Mulrooney?
Can I say something about the introduction of the Beth character, though?
Yes.
Because after the opening credits, she's like the first character we're introduced to. And she's giving a talk at a college in front of a class about stalking.
Yeah.
And this is a trope you see sometimes, and it's one of my least favorite tropes, where like they're giving you exposition as part of a college class, but the class is bored. So why am I watching the show then?
Yeah.
If you're telling me this thing that they're telling me right now is boring, why am I watching it?
Why make the class bored?
Yeah.
Well, so it's supposed to be, it's a failed move of the dramatic irony thing of like, these stupid college kids don't get how fascinating this actually is, because it's about real murders.
But I see this in so many shows and movies, and it always just rubbed me the wrong way. Like Indiana Jones's class likes him. He's a fun professor with cool stories.
Right, but this is coded for older people where they want to be mad at college students. And college students aren't going to be good in the show. They're the thing holding her back from being a badass stalker detective who then stalks stalkers, so stalked so that they don't stop stalking, no stalk.
Here's the other thing about her speech at the beginning. She's giving us stalking statistics. She says,
SS.
1 in 6 women are stalked. I think like 1 in 15 men are stalked or something like that in America.
Yeah.
And then they also say 10% of stalking cases are celebrity stalkings. I crunched the numbers.
Okay.
And that would mean that at any given time, around 2.7 million celebrity women are being stalked in America. That cannot be true. That's not even counting the couple 100,000 celebrity men being stalked. There are not that many celebrities.
I think there are a lot of celebrity men also being stalked.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think it depends on your definition of celebrity at that point.
This is the LA stalking unit. They should have a good definition of celebrity.
No, but like, okay, are we counting local news?
Sure.
Those people.
I still don't think there are 2.7 million celebrities in America. Only women.
I do like the idea.
Every
like,
woman.
How many stalkers do you think like Olivia Rodrigo has? Like
even still,
like
she would have to have
15,000.
That's too many.
15,000 stalkers.
This is the
like,
L.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe though.
If that's
you know?
if Olivia
How many-
Rodrigo has 15,000 stalkers, then the LA stalking unit, which should be the premier unit for dealing with celebrity stalkers in the world, should have
It
more
is. Do
than
you see
4 members.
Do you see how hot
they
the
have
members
4
are?
members.
That's another thing I love. It's just like everybody in this unit is like a fucking bombshell. There's not one person in the entire police department. That's at least like Law and
Welcome
Order
to the
had some
procedural.
fucking uggos working for the NYPD.
Well, it's because they have more than 4 members.
It's
How are there only 4 people on this? If there are that many people being stalked in
But
LA,
I'm gonna get hold on. Do we want to do Olivia Rodrigo? I'll Google it right now. How many stalkers does Olivia Rodrigo
there's no way
have?
she has enough to make the numbers make sense that are presented
and I
within
mean,
this
it's
show.
like what?
How many stalkers does Taylor Swift have?
I mean, Taylor Swift might have 50,000 stalkers of people who are so obsessed with her
But are they like
that
following
it's like
her
consumed
everywhere?
their life. I mean, yeah.
they-
I mean, I don't know
'Cause
what's the
anywhere
what's the
she went,
definition?
there'd be a full bush of people hiding
yeah,
in it.
just the bushes.
You
are
would
full.
notice
There
anywhere
are.
she went in
They're
public.
called paparazzi.
Yeah.
Oh, that are they counting paparazzi as stalkers within this universe?
No, not to my definition, and I don't think Beth Davis would consider them stalkers either because they're paid.
I think she might because she's juking her stats in some way.
I think
Yeah,
she
that's
would
true.
try and fight them still.
Yeah, she does. She does start a fight later in this episode, and
well, if it's 1 in 6 and 1 in 19,
10%
then
are celebrity.
I don't think it's like 1 in 6 women at any given moment. It's like in the course of their life, 1 in 6 women will be stalked.
Even if that's what it is, that's still too many celebrity stalking cases.
It's a
in my
lot of
opinion.
it's a lot of stalking. I bet 10% of celebrities at some point have a stalker. You don't think so?
Yeah, I thought.
No, it's
did
not
you look
10%
up
of
stalking
celebrities. It's-
statistics?
I'm saying what they said in the show.
Oh, okay.
It's not 10% of celebrities. It's 10% of all stalking cases are celebrity, they said.
Right. Okay.
And the numbers that they present are so massive
Yeah.
that it's simply
I mean, based on the show, the numbers, the show is existing in the world of those statistics where everybody in the show is stalking or being stalked.
yeah. Like I can believe that, okay, 1 out of every 6 women are being stalked. I can believe that. But it doesn't seem possible that 10% of them, if that's the real number, can be celebrities. To me, it doesn't seem possible.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. That is, I think there also what we haven't considered is that in this world, stalking is because this isn't the United. This is a different universe. This is a world where a guy who looks like Dylan McDermott is in the stalking unit.
Yeah, I would say if we lived in a world where stalking was as popular as portrayed in this show, there would be a move to legalize it. There'd be extreme legalization efforts for stalking. Just be like, it's not a big deal.
That is true. That really, yeah, no, the laws are just manufactured consent.
Yeah.
I mean, it does go back to what you were saying. I don't know if the mics were on yet about how, like, 50 years ago, stalking was just considered romance. If you wanted to date somebody, you would show up at her home and her work until she agreed to go steady, and then it would be a cute story. She'd relay over, your grandma would relay over, Thanksgiving dinner or something.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, you could see Dylan McDermott, try to put that. He's almost doing it. You could see him almost get the wife to be like, your jawline is so sharp. Maybe it's fine.
These are just that's the stalking unit is just consists of people too hot to have ever been told no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally the entire force is just like absolute babes.
Not understanding that.
I mean,
they're
they also do, like, everyone they meet in the show, they point out is a failed actor.
Yeah.
They meet several people within this
That's
episode
funny.
who
That's true.
volunteer that information out of nowhere.
And all did like porn.
One guy did.
yeah.
Well, no, Wild did it, and then the other guy was like secretly filmed fucking. And
Oh
it was
yeah.
so good that people thought that it was real. That he was like that he filmed it himself.
Oh yeah. So you thought that's? I get what you mean. It didn't look like a creep shot or something. It looked like
No,
people,
people didn't believe him that he didn't film it himself.
they were like, it's too good.
It's too good.
You
Why
were
are there
fucking like you were
three
being
camera
filmed.
angles?
Yeah.
That's true. If he had been bad at sex, people would be like, "Oh, you were being stalked."
Yeah.
If he was like just like like 3 seconds of sex and like, oh, they'd be like, "This guy's got a stalker for
Yeah.
sure."
Yeah, I guess we should get into the plot. So there's like two main plots going on in this. One is they're
Double
trying to
the
find
stalking.
they're trying to find the guy that is burning women alive.
Yep.
And then the other one is there's this guy who's stalking his ex-college roommate. They're very quick to point out, not a gay thing.
They do. They
Very
are quick to
quickly.
point it out. I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
Well, later he ends up stalking the female detective, so
It's true.
he's in it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
He just loves powerful people.
Yeah.
He's just turned on. It's not a gay thing, but it's also not a straight thing. And that's what's important to clarify.
Hey, CBS officially endorses only bi stalkers.
He does seem bi. That's the vibe that he gives off, honestly.
Yeah, well, it is CBS. It's some old fashioned things are a nice queer coded evil villain. They're more fun.
Yeah, he seems like one of those
Happy
guys
Pride Month, everybody.
Happy Pride Month.
who's like bi in the way that he just like loves stalking
He's
so
bi
much
in the way
that,
he
like,
loves stalking.
that like gender doesn't matter. He's able to become sort of like have this psychosexual obsession with anybody.
like feet. Like if you were so into feet that
Yeah.
you were just like, I'm into beautiful feet.
I'm into beautiful feet.
It doesn't matter. Gender becomes
Yeah.
irrelevant at that point.
There's a weird thing where I think the writer did zero research into stalking for this thing.
Yeah.
Because at one point, they ask the new guy detective, and she's like, "Oh, what's your background in stalking?" And he just lists a bunch of movies that he's seen.
Yeah, it's
And
insane.
I think that's what the writer. He's like, those are just the movies he watched.
Yeah.
One of which was Swim Fan. I mean, you're doing some deep cuts if you go to Swim Fan
Whoa.
for reference points.
I remember Swim Fan. That's that was mostly like through like AOL chat
Something
or something
like
like
that,
that.
yeah.
Okay. So and then they're trying to figure out the first plot, and then there's like
They figure it out almost immediately, and then the rest of the episode, there's like, but we can't prove it.
right. Well, no, the one guy, it's like it doesn't make sense that it's that guy, kind of.
But they figure it out pretty much. I wish it was more of a mystery, and they don't.
It's really a just
Law and
takes
Order
a,
goes through a couple people before they hit.
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
it's a big
It is
indictment.
the first
of,
guy.
of spin classes.
Yeah.
The spin class. The perp is the leader of the spin class in Hollywood, and he recruits an old fat banker to be his sort of like accomplice.
Which why?
Why?
Also, the spin class leader, who is the murderer, he has a pretty normal name, and immediately the detectives are like, "That's not your real name,"
Yeah,
just because his last name is Wild, which
Yeah.
is a real last name.
it is a real last name.
But it was like Jack Wild.
That's a perfectly believable name. Oscar Wilde,
Yeah, I don't.
Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, I think as soon as you add more syllables to it, it makes it like if you're like Max Wild.
But you got to remember that this detective is almost like an extraterrestrial genius.
Oh yeah, there's Savant too.
Well, no, what I think one of them recognized him from porn and didn't want to bring it up.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just some softcore stuff.
Yeah. Also, nobody does softcore stuff. Like
He does.
that's
what do you
the
mean?
I think that guy was doing
Like gay porn?
hardcore. Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, because you catch
Different kind of spin class.
no. What
I don't know what I'm
because
implying.
I think that's the same way they were like, but nothing gay. Is like that's the weird parameters they have to lean into. Is that he could only do softcore porn, he couldn't do hardcore
if this
porn.
was on HBO instead of CBS, he
Yeah.
would've.
Right, because softcore, there is a market. I know people who have just done softcore porn. That's just like jerking off in front of a camera. Guys will still pay for that kind of stuff.
Is that softcore? I thought softcore was no nudity. No, like genital nudity. Like like Cinemax After Dark.
That's lewd. Hardcore is penetration. Anytime like someone else's things are making
So you
contact
can
with
see
your
like
things.
a hard dick and it can still be softcore.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's not fair just based on semantics.
Yeah. I agree.
But you can like be softcore. Yeah, no, softcore. Like women can masturbate for softcore.
Can I
porn.
just bring something up while we're discussing all of the semantics about hardcore versus softcore porn? I was at Target yesterday and I got a Mr. Clean magic eraser, and there were two varieties, and I'm here to tell Mr. Clean to clean up their act, because the two varieties you could buy were ultra thick and extra foamy, and that's not good. Because especially Mr. Clean is on the package, he's giving you a look.
Technically, those are softcore and hardcore. Those
I
are
didn't
the
like it.
Those are the differences. If
I
you need
didn't like
if
it
you need a
one
good
bit.
difference, ultra thick is softcore, and extra
Extra
foamy
foamy, yeah.
is hardcore for sure.
And you know he's a buff guy. He's giving you a pretty dead-on stare on the package.
And he's getting extra thick and foamy.
Ultra thick, I think it was.
Clean's going ultra. Anyway, let's talk about they figured out it's him. And then the other guy is just a bored married guy who's like, you know what? Let's take up stalking hot ladies.
And his wife, when the cops are like, "Hey, we think we've arrested your husband. We think you may have stalked and murdered a woman," she's like, "You know, he's going through a midlife crisis like a normal guy."
Yeah, it's also like his. It's like he sort of is painted as this like kind of buffoony dude who got caught up in the wrong crowd. It's like, no, dude, he was hiding above, like he was doing insane shit.
Yeah, they do kind of set him up to like fall down a well. He's that kind of character.
Yeah,
just like, whoa.
Oops!
Yeah.
There's a lady down here.
Yeah.
he was actually probably what I found the best written character. He just said at least had one line where she was like, why'd you have the affair? He's like, I don't know, dude, I hate myself. And I thought, I was like, oh, that tracks, you know.
At least it's a self-aware.
Yeah,
That's the problem with that's what the other guy, the spin class master, learned is you never fall in love with your stalking victim. That's where you fuck up.
Dude, their plan is so weird. Like one guy they're both stalking separate women.
Well, that's what they can't figure out.
One of them was dating him,
Yeah.
dating the woman, and then started stalking her, I guess, mid-dating?
I thought it was the other way. I thought it
But
was
then she-
stalking and then started dating.
But then kept stalking
no, it
afterwards.
was started dating, and then his wife found out, and then
No,
First.
wife never found out.
or she found out he was married or something.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
is how confusing the plot lines are.
Yeah.
Well, it's from
also
the
just like pointless. Like, it
it's
doesn't
from the
matter.
writer of Scream,
Hmm.
which, you know, and I know what you did last summer. These are not known as like plotting masterpieces.
But they are kind of like back and forth twists, like
Right, but they're also tongue in their cheek, borderline parodies.
right. And this feels like it's not hitting that same mark at all. It's
No,
trying
I
to
think it
do
was him
that.
trying to be fully serious.
Oh, okay.
But it is and it isn't. Like the main detective is such like a
They're both shits.
greaseball.
They're both kind of shits. Him and Maggie Q are both kind of just doing like kind of slimy
Yeah.
What does the Q stand for?
anon.
Good answer. That's, I think, joke of the show. I'm gonna give it my vote.
Maggie QAnon. Just did you know that all members of QAnon are being stalked by 10% of the population?
10% of celebrities are stalking QAnon members. While we're on QAnon, I had a thought recently. Do you ever consider how many Santas must have been arrested at January 6th?
Like mall Santas?
Yeah, I'm willing to bet there was a real shortage of mall Santas that Christmas.
That's true.
Luckily, it was January 6th, though. By the time
No, they
you had a
like
full year.
they had to go on trial. I'm willing to bet there was a shortage.
Jamie looked that up.
Unexplained mall Santa shortage of 2021.
The
So
liberal war on Christmas continues.
just because 15 to 35 mall Santas wanted to storm the Capitol.
Put the president on the naughty list.
Nancy
Oh, I just
Naughty List Pelosi.
Wait, I just noticed you're wearing Christmas socks.
Oh, 'tis the season. These are my dead orthodontist socks.
They're from your dead orthodontist, or
Yeah.
you wear them in their memory, or you killed your orthodontist to get these socks.
Oh, like a Santa Claus situation?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I did not. He was the size of an elf. That's true.
If the stalker kills the person they're stalking, they become that person. Not a lot of people know that. Santa Claus rules.
That would have been fun for this show if that
Yeah.
guy just had to become like a weird hot girl wife.
I bet that is how Santa works, right? You have to, if you kill Santa, you become Santa.
It's anything involving Tim Allen.
Mm.
So you can kill Buzz Lightyear and become Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, interesting.
You can kill
That was
Tim
an
Allen.
awkward trip to Disney World for us.
Yeah, you can kill Tim Allen and become Tim Allen.
What a horrible life.
Yeah, it's not. It's real Sisyphusian at this
Yeah.
point.
So there's another plot line where there's this college kid, and he's like stalking his ex-roommate. He put out a sex tape of that guy, but college can't do anything because his parents are so rich.
But then the other thing about it is, we meet the kid, and the kid got the shit kicked out of him from the jock kid.
Yeah, because the jock thought he was Santa, and he wanted to take over the job.
But he was pissed about the sex tape getting leaked and whatever, and he was like,
That sex tape that everyone agreed made him look great at sex? What's he so mad about?
yeah, I mean, to be fair, like,
And it was taken on his roommate's laptop, right? So it seems like a pretty open shut case. Surely he wouldn't film his own sex tape on his roommate's.
If you think
laptop.
anyone there has ever heard of metadata, you're out of your mind.
That's like, feels fair. Like, he was like, nobody believed me. It's like, feels like it's like definitely like a criminal thing to do.
yeah, like, if my computer was open on a thing, watching it, you're not assuming it's because you did the thing. Why would
Yeah.
you leave your nudes in the hands of your roommate? That's insane.
Maybe you're trying to impress them?
Yeah, you know what? That's true. I have an M. I'm like, guys, you want to watch this sex tape? I really nail it.
If anyone would, it would be you.
That's fair. But I would only do it with
Pause the
consent.
pod. Let's see one. Show us the one you're proudest of. Okay, and we're back.
Wow.
I didn't think it was that good. What did you think?
I mean, the more flexible than I.
Did you guys at least like the costumes?
I was surprised the budget you had,
Yeah, that is true. Like,
but I didn't believe you as a Viking.
I could have sprung for more in terms of like, instead of buying like an authentic helm that
Yeah.
costs like 12,000, I could have hired a trainer for a while to like really get my abs up.
Like the other guys that were there, they were believable Vikings.
Yeah, that's I realized once you get half the cast of
Yeah.
300,
Yeah,
you have
Yeah.
to really, pay for the trainer from 300
Yeah.
to get ripped at their level.
and it's nice that you paid for everyone but you to get ripped.
No,
you
they
hired
were
him, but-
still ripped.
Oh,
actually.
they showed up ripped.
They
18
showed up.
years later, they were still in shape from 300. Big get for you that you got Michael Fassbender to
It's
show
cool
up to
to-
this orgy.
For the CGI was able to make your sack so long.
Yeah.
Like
And it's
a-
going to look great in
like,
IMAX.
Is
Because I can't believe you got an IMAX
Piccolomini's
camera for this.
sack is like it's like a foot and a half long.
Well, it's different because you were watching in 3D. I think there was only one pair of glasses, so I didn't really get
Yeah,
the,
so
the full experience.
I try to make sure at all times that if we're gonna spend the money for 3D, you're getting the full experience of it coming all the way out.
It was just so weird that it was a 3D IMAX fisheye lens. And
just a really
Did you
long
guys-
ball
Yeah.
sack.
Did you guys notice the smellometer, or do I need to like crank it up
no,
a little?
you didn't pass out the cards to us to scratch off. So
That's fair. They're still getting mailed here.
yeah, okay.
Anyway, my sex tape better than anything we've watched.
What's it called? Because you had a funny name, but I forgot. You said you had a fun name for this sex tape.
150. It's 300, but in half, split in half.
Okay. Split in half is an interesting term to use there.
Yeah, no, that was on purpose.
Okay.
Thor's jammer.
Come on. I'm going to set you up for the better Thor pun. Thor, Ragna.
Cock.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah, true.
There we go. Okay, I'll just edit that together.
All right. Back to Stalker.
So they eventually prove that the guy is stalking him.
No, they don't. They can't prove it, but the college guy comes to the station and is like, you got to do something. She's like, there's nothing we can do under the
Oh,
law.
right. He threatens to
I
poison
get it.
him.
I've been stalked before. And so instead, she goes and beats the kid up. But
That was
he's
insane.
clearly into it.
Yeah,
He loves it.
and then now
He's stalking her.
Nice.
And
Stalking
now
her.
she has gained, which I guess totally worked. That he he stopped stalking the other kid.
So guys,
But also it ends on a like a solemn cover of Creep,
oh my
which is
god.
crazy. No one had ever thought to ever use Creep like that.
Yeah.
First time anyone had ever done that.
Do you think though when this show was in like pre-production in like 2013, 2012, the guy's like writing it and he's like, God damn it. They're using Creep in everything now.
So the Social Network, I think, really kickstarted the trend, and that was 2010.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
in the trailer, that chorus singing Creep.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Ugh. Man.
It's such a funny song to be this widely used.
Also
Like,
around 24. Oh, go ahead.
I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. It's
Yeah.
just like
Well,
such
to be
funny
fair,
lyrics.
this is the show that should use it.
Around 2014, I performed at a jam band festival in Vermont. I was doing comedy. I'm not in a jam band, but I saw.
You could be though.
I would kill myself if I was.
But look-wise though, like just picture you on a record with like
it's
a bass.
It's a hardcore punk shirt I'm wearing right now, not
No, but
jam band.
but
Anyway, so I'm on this festival and I see two bands back to back. One closes on a 20-minute jam of Creep, and the next one opens on a 20-minute jam
Whoa.
of Creep. So they were backstage watching this other band jam Creep, and they're like, "We're still doing ours."
Yeah.
They wouldn't back down.
But the problem with Creep is that it's like it's about
it's bad.
it's
Or
about,
not
but it's
bad.
like about it's about like it's like about being a creep. It's like that's not what the show is about. The show's like about like that guy's a creep.
But it's also showing you the stalkers. So it's doing the overlay. It's doing the one-to-one metaphor of an overlay of like,
Yeah.
I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo. Like
Here's a
these
creep,
guys.
here's a weirdo,
Yeah. It's doing the one-to-one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. I mean, what are Daniel? You're more of the music guy. Some better songs that would have employed dramatic irony over that.
Okay, so the best example I've seen, because like the other thing you would use there would be like Psycho Killer. People overuse that.
Yeah.
Mindhunter, where someone would have used like Psycho Killer or Creep, expertly uses Peter Gabriel's Intruder at one point.
Okay.
That works really well. It's got an even eerier feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Check out Mindhunter, everybody.
Sue Studio. Let's
That's
do that over song.
that
Just
is Phil Collins.
yes.
Great.
Just do that over this at the end of the like just a creepy rendition of that.
I wouldn't be scared.
Not yet. Okay.
Hey, I'm taking back my vote for best joke of the night because that Susudio one didn't work so.
Yeah, that
at
one.
all.
That one really.
I
You
liked the QAnon one, but the Susudio one not doing it for me.
That's honestly harsh but fair. Much like this show.
I would not call this show fair.
No, this show is not fair to anybody.
It's especially not fair to
The
people who
viewers.
have been stalked.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I call the viewers.
Oh, okay.
I guess they'd be the viewed.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the end of
The
anything
first
else?
episode. Well, his wife confronts him. She's like, "Did you follow me to New York?" And he's like, "Me? No.
Maybe.
Can I see my kid?
He had an affair.
Maybe it's unclear."
Yeah, he fucked his chief's. He fucked the chief's.
Oh
wife.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if like that was like a rumor or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then they catch the guys. Oh, they realize it's two. That's the whole thing. They can't figure out how these two girls were being stalked in the same way.
Two girls, one stalker.
But it wasn't. It was two stalkers.
And then there's a show off at the spin or showdown at the spin class. Sorry, I'm apparently.
Also, wait, actually, that is the question. They do the dumb thing where they've covered people in oil or in they've covered people in gas and then they shoot a gun. Wouldn't that have lit people on fire?
I think you're asking too much of this show.
I mean, that was like my. But I
'Cause they-
think you would have to have if you shoot him in the face, then there's not necessarily like a spark involved.
Well, but I guess
There was
if-
also no spark in the casts, in the writing, in the directing.
So I guess the question I have, but like if you're hitting the bullet, the metal of the bullet hitting the glass that has oil on it.
This is a question for Mythbusters. This is not a question for me.
That's fair. But yeah, because they even feel like they're calling it out though. The guy goes, "No."
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that could be no, I don't want to get shot, but
Yeah. I know. I was like, yeah, maybe I don't, because I was fully expecting the whole thing to light up. It seemed like incredibly irresponsible. But I think it's kind of like he's about to light it no matter what.
Yeah.
So might as well shoot him because
and
otherwise,
hope that it doesn't light,
it's-
or if it
yeah.
lights, you could get her out quicker.
Probably
then.
which is a pretty quick gamble to process. So his
Oh.
genius-
I look, if this show's already dumb, if you want to make this a fun show, instead of shooting him, get a close up of them shooting the top of the match off. So he can't light anything and then
Yeah.
they tackle him.
sick.
Just like admit your show is dumb, but make it fun.
Yeah.
That is what Scream
Yeah.
does for the most part.
Yeah.
In a fun way. Right, because he's gonna kill himself with her.
Yeah, he's gonna light
together.
them both on fire.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying the episode, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Also, check us out on Instagram at DPIC Comedy, at Daniel Crow Comedy. I think it's actually Daniel F. Crow. And at Unofficial Elliot for Elliot Thompson. Also, check out his show, Pure Chaos Comedy. Also, check out my special on YouTube. It's an hour of your life that you'll enjoy watching it. And like Grandma 69 on TikTok.
Second episode is it is clearly the culmination of a lot of things that have happened.
I mean, it's just insane. Like it's pretty much the same plot points, like from the second episode. So from the first episode, so we know.
So we did episode 17, the top rated episode on
Yeah.
IMDb.
So you can tell the ratings are flagging because they are trying to introduce a new name actor to get people to watch.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, the best name they could get was Mira Sorvino.
Mira Sorvino back again.
Because every other episode, there's going to be some weird Oscar winner in one of the shows. They will always show up in the. But like,
Well, if you
I
wouldn't-
don't think Mira Sorvino is really moving ratings.
I mean, yeah, I guess what's the like you don't think a lot of Romeo and Michelle fans are like flocking to Stalker?
No.
You know, you make a good point. I wonder what the argument was.
She was available.
You know, great.
I think they said you need to get a name in this show because the ratings are flagging. And that was all that they could get to agree.
Well, she was nominated for a miniseries called Human Trafficking.
So this is her niche now.
Yeah. Sorvino's
There are so many shows. I mean, it is like one of those like true crime things where like I'm not gonna like gender this, but people love hearing about people being obsessed with, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
there's so many shows about guys who are just like so obsessed with this girl. It just has to happen.
Yeah, it is the glorification of that fucking like weird
Yeah.
like, oh, he's so like powerful and like
And
obsessed.
He's like, yeah, fairly obsessed with me, and he's gonna hold me down and tie me up.
I
and-
will say in fairness, the stalkers in this are losers. They're total goofs.
Well, the one guy is.
I don't know. Most of them have fucked the people that they're stalking. At least like
Yeah, but they all look kind of goofy and behave like idiots.
I don't know. They look to me. I was like almost on the opposite. I was like, dude, this guy looks like a fucking LA. It's like very funny that these like
These
that
guys
these
who
like these
would
like
not have
hunky kind of like metrosexual actor types are like also really good with like guns and disarming trained police officers.
Yeah. But the plot of this episode is basically that her ex-boyfriend, who was in a mental institution because he killed her whole family, but as an accident, he got taken out of the mental hospital by the boy from the first episode who was stalking his ex-college roommate, and now they're stalking the lady cop. And then they kidnap the DA to try to get her to talk to them.
They kidnap her childhood best friend and they kidnap the DA.
Yeah.
which are
Okay,
different
that's why I was
people.
confused. They kidnapped so many people in the show.
And then
And he gets kidnapped himself
by the guy.
by the other guy
Yeah.
when his like
his lawyer
daddy's
shows
handler shows up, who's also like immediately disarmed by this
guy who's the ultimate alpha psycho.
And in the middle of
Yeah.
all of that, they're like, hey, you're too close to this case. We have to take you off. You're still going to be a part of the plot, though. Don't worry. We just need an excuse for guest star Mira Sorvino,
Yeah.
who shows up and I'm pretty sure is just doing lines that were written for Maggie Q. Like, she's so shoehorned in. For no
oh
reason.
yeah, there's no like real difference to character.
None at all. They're just like, someone else is coming in, and then one character reads her resume, and then she goes, I'm here.
And then she
Yeah.
reads the resumes of other characters back to them to prove that she's already familiar with them.
Which is so weird because if you've been watching this whole show, you know who these characters are.
well, but they have to. So they do it. Actually, they do it fairly. It's still inelegant because I noticed it immediately. But she does like she reads the resume of one, then she does a little bit of a resume of another, and then she doesn't have to do it for anybody else. You just assume she knows them now.
Yeah.
But it is the like very basic of like, you are this person who's done this thing. And she could just say, hi, I'm familiar with your resumes. No need to introduce. I know who you are. Boom, we're in. In fact, she is resourceful and she pays attention ahead of time. Why are we establishing that for people on episode 17 of the show?
I
Yeah,
think
why was she was that character was created just to have
Boost
a
ratings.
name?
Yeah, but I can't imagine it brought many people in.
Yeah, what
No.
was she even? She's known for being Paul Sorvino's daughter.
She won an Oscar for Mighty Aphrodite in the 90s.
Oh,
And then Harvey Weinstein tanked her career.
Yep.
Interesting.
She was supposed to be in Lord of the Rings.
Really?
Yeah.
And what happened?
He said no. Harvey
She
Weinstein.
was supposed to be an elf.
I think she was Kate Blanchett's role.
Whoa.
Supposed to be.
Although, yeah, she.
But Weinstein was the producer, and he had already blacklisted her, so he said no.
I
I
feel
will
like
say though, like
Blanchett is pretty
Blanchett's the better choice.
good. Yeah,
uh,
for an elf.
I
Sure,
don't.
yeah,
I don't want to
absolutely.
encourage Harvey Weinstein's blacklisting,
Mm.
but it worked out there.
I mean, I don't know if she would have been the choice though. Like Blanchett still might have won out. It just stopped her from even being considered.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? I would love a Sorvino surprise.
The Sorvino surprise.
That's actually what the stalking. That's how she got brought into the
I
show.
thought you were trying to think of a new reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance.
'Cause
Oh
the,
yeah.
The other day you thought of the Breckening for Breckenmeyer.
So we get the Breckening, the Sorvino surprise.
Nice.
I don't have any more.
Let's think of one for Dylan McDermott.
Let's not.
The Motley Crue. No, it doesn't work.
The dermatologist.
That's where that's the phenomenon where Dylan McDermott starts playing a lot of doctors.
Yeah.
But then, like
He just is playing experts everywhere. He's the dermatologist.
so her ex-boyfriend ends up luring. He's like, "Come to this junkyard where I'm hiding out," and so then they send the whole force and tell her to go home. But that's what he planned. So
Got
he
her.
Kidnaps her.
Yeah. He also though
And then he murders one of the members of the squad that's so irrelevant we haven't mentioned them to this point.
He must have murdered like 4 cops because he's also obviously dispatched the unit outside. It was supposed to be that guy and another unit.
yeah.
Or he waited for them to go on break.
True. The union mandated
Yeah.
window of opportunity.
This is an anti-union show.
Goddamn, the cops had to get their donuts for 15 minutes.
They always kill them when they do that, but it's in the rules of
They're
rules.
powerless against the police unions.
Yeah.
Famously, the unions everybody's in favor for.
What else happens in that second episode? It's pretty much just one thing that they just
Well,
stretch out.
yeah, they're just searching. Like, they capture her for a while, and then the guy gets, like, bitch slapped for a while, and then they murder the one stalker, and the other stalker's being brought with them, and then, when they finally rescue the girl. Yeah, Dylan McDermott is, like, he's barely in this episode, I feel like.
They do murder the college boy stalker in this one, and he gets sort of a hero send-off. They're very forgiving. Every stalker gets redeemed in this show.
Oh, man.
Because in the first episode, like the middle-aged guy, he's very apologetic about the stalking and immediately turns in his co-conspirator.
Yeah.
He was like, I didn't want it to be like this. And he does the right thing. The stalkers in this show are good people.
Well, so I think it's the difference between a stalker and a sociopath. And some of the stalkers are sociopaths, but not all the sociopaths are stalkers. Because, like, I'm not saying, like, there is a difference between stalking someone and burning someone alive.
Which would you rather do?
Obviously, I'd rather burn someone alive. Just because
Who's your top choice?
you.
That's really nice.
Thanks, buddy. I think it would be very funny. I think
it's a good prank.
Yeah. Like, you're just like, I knock on the door, you walk out for a step, bucket of gasoline falls on your head. I throw a match at you like 8 times because I'm really bad at it.
You keep missing.
Yeah. And you're like, what's going on?
You're just rapidly applying SPF.
Is the bucket on my head?
Oh,
I can't see. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. You're running around. You're confused.
I fall down a well.
The well is where I have a bunch of matches. That lights it up. Elaborate prank. Ashton Kutcher helped me out with this prank.
That would be sick if people just get every punked episode somebody died.
Yeah. It'd be really cool if it was Ashton, but he came back every episode.
Yeah.
But just like clearly resurrected.
Yeah.
And he gets a little less human every episode.
There's just a painting of him that looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Or that is slowly getting maimed over time. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So then he shoots the one guy doesn't die. Her guy at her bodyguard at the house.
Oh, he doesn't die, yeah.
No, but the other guy does die though. Isn't there a cop that does die? I thought the one stalker gets killed, but then I thought another cop got killed.
The handler gets killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lawyer for the college stalker.
Oh, that's who got killed. Okay, that's the other guy who got killed.
He's like he's a bodyguard, I think, or like his like the helper.
Fixer.
He's a fixer, yeah.
Yeah, he gave cop energy without being a cop. That's what it was.
But he was armed and was pulling on this guy who he knew was a wanted criminal.
He does the slowest gun pull
of all time. Some interesting parallels that I think weren't quite explored about like how the government is stalking all of us all the time and how it has the power to, the privacy. Their whole job is basically invading people's privacy, much like a stalker would, except it's like good when they do it. Like they talk about the NSA, and Mila Sorvino has that call where she's like, don't act like you don't do this all the time,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, that's the crazy thing about the show is that everybody is such a stalker, and it's like there isn't. So we're gonna get into the end of the podcast at this point of like, so we name one thing we did improve about the show, and then a different TV show that it's just a better show that you want to recommend. It could be literally any show. It could be related. It doesn't have to. It doesn't matter. So I would say my thing that I would improve about the show is make it like more like the parallel they're trying to do. You could smooth out the thing of like make it them bad people, make them like they're addicted to stalking, which is why they're so good at it, because you can do that Sherlock Holmes thing of he's really good at getting in the mind of a stalker because he loves stalking people, which they've
abandoned by the last episode.
But they kind of keep it, but also he's a good guy. Don't make him a good guy for it. Make him someone with demons. That's really fun.
He should be stalking his partner and she should not know.
That would be great. That would be like such a and he's doing it because he's pretty sure that she's on the take or something because he's investigating something. You could even do that as he's kind of a good guy for that, but he's stalking her and doing it without her consent, and it's shitty.
Yeah.
Still and weird. There are versions of this that are good, but don't make it he just wants his kids back. Like a version of this where cops are really good at their job because they're also as criminal as their jobs is The Shield. Which is Vic Mackey, who's the main character in The Shield, is really good at breaking up gangs. But part of the reason he's really good at breaking up gangs is because he's basically running his group as a gang. And so that's where they end up so it like ends up being this conflict over that, and it is a really great show for 7 seasons. Elliot, what would you do?
I think I would. Yeah, I think I would make. I think the cops, the cops have to be worse. like the cops are sort of like this guy. He's in the scumbag. Like actually make him like a real virulent sociopath.
But make him like you could do the house game. Make him like
Yeah.
House.
Yeah. And then fucking Beth David, just like such a nothing character. Give her some, like, make her psychopathically violent in response to or scared. There's no these people are so two dimensional. Those would be my crits.
Yeah.
Give them a little depth.
And then what show would you recommend?
A show that kind of has a similar bad boy, Dylan McDermott style, but an actor that I like more is I got into another bad show, Goliath. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
Oh,
Billy Bob Thornton
yeah.
is an ambulance chaser, and that they kind of have the same like street honed genius like wit.
But is it more fun?
It's a little more fun. Yeah, Billy Bob. He's just much. I'm a big fan of his subtly.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Bob Thornton is a really fun actor to watch in most things.
Yeah,
That's why we're probably not going to cover Goliath on this show.
yeah. It's not a great show,
But it's
but
fun.
it's a little better. It's fun. I feel like it's kind of in the same.
So if you kind of like this show, a much better version of it is Goliath.
Yeah, like guy he's such a hard drinker, but he's actually really fucking smart.
Yeah. Dad shows.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
All right, and Daniel, how would you improve the show?
So just the guy wrote Scream. Lean into what you're good at. Make this a little
Make it
tongue in
funnier.
cheek.
I think that's like the kind of the issues that like the subject matter is so heavy and
Scream is about murder.
Yeah, but murder's like stalking, like rape and stalking, and
No one gets raped in this show,
Well,
which is also
no, that's
unrealistic.
not. We saw 2 episodes.
and I'm extrapolating.
I'm gonna say I would bet someone gets assaulted in this show.
Anyway.
If they look through. It seems like a show that would
the guy
not
should lean into his strengths. Is all I'm saying.
and make it funnier and make it like more. There's a nihilist version of this that
Yeah.
could be really funny for sure.
For a show to recommend, I already brought up Mindhunter, so I will recommend Mindhunter.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful
Mind.
Beautiful
Hunter?
Mindhunter.
All right.
Beautiful mind, comma Hunter. Biden.